Welcome back to $2 Garage, and today we have another review. Today we have a 2003 Mercury Grand Marquis Vinyl Top Edition. If you don't know what the Grand Marquis is, the Grand Marquis was the Ford full-size platform from 1979 till 2011. It was a very venerable platform, and this is what you would call a dying type of vehicle, a full-size sedan. I believe this is 19 feet long, and this platform is very close to me. I grew up around a lot of this early 2000s Ford stuff. Let's talk about the exterior. Here we see, it looks like a boring 90s sedan. We do have Mustang GT wheels on there, silver wheel irons, that's probably to hide the rust. And, well, very much, this is a car from the early 2000s. Of course, this is a Grand Marquis, and this was purchased by 90-year-olds, so it does have a vinyl top. Underneath the hood, we have a 4.6-liter 2-valve. This particular 4.6-liter 2-valve is the later variant. This particular motor is making 224 horsepower and 270 foot-pounds of torque, and I have reason to believe that as this is very low miles. Let's start with the back seats. Oh, I can't wait to have seats like this. This is a couch. I love these back seats. They are very comfortable. Let's talk about space. I am 5'11". I have plenty of leg room. As we can see, touch points. Good. Do they feel a little light and a little cheap? Yes, but it all feels relatively nice. Of course, we have a cubby for various things. Someone likes Snickers. Someone needs a Snickers. And we have a fold-down armrest. Look at this. Even this is supremely comfortable. Cutting over here, we have 1980s seatbelt holders. This looks like it came straight off of a school bus. And don't forget, because this is a car made primarily in the 90s, even the 80s, we have ashtrays. We have 2 of them, and some fake wood trim. Over here we have lights that do light things. And this is a very comfortable place to be. Your trunk release button is over here on the driver's side door. Let's go check that out. And here we are at the trunk, which is full size. It's huge.
This is where I live. This is MTV Cribs. Welcome to my apartment.
Good. Get in the back.
Inside.
We're going to the dump. Bye. Oh shit, he escaped. A lot of people complain about this, but I grew up with a lot of 90s and early 2000s Fords, even 80s stuff, and this is a favorite of mine, and it is so much better than the modern Ford stuff, which has that stupid plastic touchpad which loves to break. Now, let's start this mighty machine. Yes, it does. It has the digital display. So this interior isn't super high quality. I call it nice plastic. That's the best way to describe it. It doesn't feel super cheap, but it doesn't feel very nice on the other hand. And no, I'm not looking at the Nissan Frontier. We have basic controls, window locks. This is all early 2000s Ford. As we can see here, we have that same decent quality in the doors. And we have the Mercedes seat controls. Over here, lights, panel dim, which doesn't appear to be working, and of course our light controls. Pretty much the rest of this is just a lot of early 2000s Ford and our fantastic cup holders. Here we see our turn signal stock feels quite cheap, and not the good kind of cheap, the kind of cheap that wants to fall apart. And we have a column shift with overdrive off for transmission. This has the AOD, so I'm looking forward to the AOD shuffle. It's been a few years since I last used one of these. Should of course mention this lovely digital display, which is pretty good. It sounds very 80s if my assistant could hit the buttons. Yes, it sounds like it's on the buttons.
Sounds like it wants to warn me that the oil pressure is low.
Yes, and this gets an average between 16 to 24 miles per gallon, which about lines up for that in my experience with these 4.6 liters and the AODs. Again, we have a steering wheel, pretty simple, well built, nice. The buttons feel surprisingly good. No stalks, a little too old for that. That would confuse the 90-year-olds who purchased this new. And other than these spectacularly comfortable seats, let's go for a drive. As we know, this is a full-sized body-on-frame 4.6 liter V8. You can't hear it at all. This could be a 4-cylinder and you wouldn't tell. Let's go for a drive. So here we go. We are ready to offset in our Grand Marquis. Wow, that is a very violent shift for a luxury car. The steering is hydraulic. I can feel it. This feels like E-Pass. It is weightless.
It's a Grand Marquis. It's a grandma car.
Yep.
90-year-old Ethel can't handle heavy steering.
The V8 is incredibly smooth, and this reinforces my review yesterday of that Dodge. Why on earth would you get the V6 when you could get the V8 that does the same thing, but way smoother? This chassis is very comfortable, which it should be. It only has 76,000 miles. It's basically a baby. This is a wonderful driving experience, and 20 years ago that may have been incredibly uncommon to say, but they do not make cars like this anymore. Or if they do, it's a $100,000 Mercedes. It's going to cost you 15 grand in air suspension.
How much was the original MS? The roof covering was an extra $900.
Oh boy.
Was that dealer installed?
This may bore you on your drive to Florida, but you will be incredibly comfortable.
Yeah, I know.
Now, one thing I was preparing to do is make jokes about the AOD transmission, because most of the vehicles I've driven are at least trying to have the thought of being performance-oriented, and, well, this doesn't do a very good job at it. It shifts very hard, and I did notice it shifted a little hard in the first gear, or that may have been in the second gear. But, other than that, in this setup right here, with granny gears, in a granny car, is perfect. I like the AOD in this thing. It floats. You do what? Fourth gear at 40 miles an hour, you feel nothing. It is the exact point and purpose of this transmission.
Yeah, it's
As we can see, the previous owner is the proper demographic of the first owner of a Grand Marquis. This isn't even just 50s music. This is 80s, the 80s retro 50s music. You can see, this is not a backroad car. I can feel floating around. Alright, this is the, it's entertaining if you like taking cars that aren't meant to do something on something they're doing. Like taking a Rolls Royce on a road course. But, it is fun, but this is not your ideal backroad car. And it doesn't want to shift either. Granted, it's a 4-speed, so it's a little better. At least it's not in, like, the limp gear at 1900 RPM. Oh god, a corner. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah. Alright, we are doing 30 miles an hour. We're doing 37 miles. Come on. There we go. Okay. Now that we're in the highway gear, evidently, it is holding speed very well. We are doing a grand total of the speed limit. We'll go with that. I'm doing 68 miles an hour, and it is very comfortable. This road is notoriously badly paved.
This is a horrible road. I'm gonna take the camera out of the...
And the ride isn't that bad.
Yeah, this is a horrible road.
Well, how does it feel compared to we're used to?
Well, I'm used to a Solstice on this, so this is fine.
I'm used to the Focus, and that thing's a go-kart. It was 3-wheel. So, yes, this feels fine. The suspension actually does something, which is a feature. Yeah, we're fine.
Yep, 60.
We're doing about 65 miles an hour
And
right at the end of the on-ramp. And here we go. Let this Versa get a little ahead.
You don't want any big Ultima energy.
No, we don't. In the passenger seat of the Grand Marquis, we are progressing forward
At a pace.
at a pace that is a number.
I think it's actually the speed limit.
This is a very comfortable seat. You put your armrest up and you relax. So, in conclusion to the driving experience of the Grand Marquis, I like it. It's nice. It's smooth. It floats, and most importantly, they are a dime a dozen and very cheap. The motor is good. I like the transmission. I actually like the AOD in that format. That being said, I can recommend one. If you need a car that works, that's comfortable, go get one. They're great cars. Yeah, that's it. Leave a like, favorite, and subscribe. This is $2 Garage. Have a nice day.